Good evening, I'm Norah O'Donnell, and thank you for being with us as we get new information about a monster storm targeting Florida's Gulf Coast, and this is the second in 2 weeks. Hurricane Milton exploded in strength today with winds topping 180 miles per hour. It is now expected to make landfall late Wednesday or early Thursday. Check out this ominous view of Milton today from the International Space Station. Forecasters say if it stays on its current track, this will be the worst storm to hit the Tampa area in more than a century. Now, Florida's governor declared an emergency for much of the state, warning residents, especially those vulnerable to its potential 15-foot surge of seawater, to evacuate as soon as possible. Look at this. The roads already jammed. Now, all this as many Floridians are still recovering from the impact of Hurricane Helene just 11 days ago. We'll get to the news storm track in a moment, but we begin with CBS's Tom Hanson in Tampa. Good evening, Tom.
Hey there, Nora. Good evening to you. Well, talking about that storm surge that you mentioned, if that were to hit right where I'm standing, I would be well underwater. And take a look at Tampa from above. You can see that the city is surrounded by inlets just like this one. Once the storm hits, all of that water has to go somewhere.
As Milton menaces Florida, millions are under mandatory evacuation orders.
This is the storm of the century.
Now the west coast of Florida is bracing for another life-threatening storm just 11 days after Helene. It's expected to make landfall in Tampa, and nearly half the city is being told to get out.
I can't put my officers' lives in danger to come out for somebody that didn't evacuate in the peak of the storm surge. So take the heat and evacuate now.
With a state of emergency declared in 51 counties, residents are once again assembling their emergency kits and gathering supplies, waiting in long lines for sandbagging and even longer lines for gas. CBS News was at Tampa General Hospital, the only level 1 trauma center in the area, as this wall was installed before Hurricane Helene. That barrier protected the hospital from 4 feet of flooding, but Milton could bring up to 15 feet.
We have layers of protections that we're going through, but it's still a little bit nerve-wracking to prepare for something like this with the current projection.
I'm Cristian Benavides in North Reddington Beach, a barrier island community where debris from Hurricane Helene still lines the street. Here, they're going from cleaning up to bracing for impact.
Across Pinellas County, communities are getting ready. In this St. Petersburg neighborhood, more than 80% of homes were flooded by Helene's historic storm surge.
What does your neighborhood look like right now?
It looks like a war zone. I mean, it's really sad. People have lost everything. You can see their memories sitting on the side of the road, and it's decimated.
Officials are worried debris, loose pieces of wood and metal, could clog storm drains and turn into dangerous projectiles when Milton makes landfall. Here in North Reddington Beach, entire homes were engulfed by the ocean during Hurricane Helene. Now residents like John Davis are worried about what's next.
Well, I hope it's not going to directly hit here. That's my hope.
But if it does,
I think it's going to have devastating effects.
Not long ago, we heard sirens going off, meaning that everyone here needs to get out now. We are under a hurricane warning, a storm surge warning, and here under a mandatory evacuation order. Nora?
Cristian Benavides, to see those pictures, my goodness, and Tom Hanson, thank you both for being there.